I was born in India and had the honor of learning Sanskrit language, one of the oldest languages in the world. In Sanskrit, we use a word Sat Chit Ananda to describe the ocean of transcendence, this huge field of potentiality that we are all a part of, which is the ultimate big picture. Sat means our being, the physicality of our existence. Chit is about consciousness, the subtle energies, the life force, and everything that makes us who we are. Ananda is happiness, rapture, or bliss. And when you combine these three together is when you get the big picture, your life. And your life is your big picture. Joseph Campbell, the great American author, editor, writer, philosopher, did a lot of research in this whole notion of bliss. And his message was, follow your bliss. To quote Joseph Campbell, quote, if you follow your bliss, you put yourself on a kind of track that has been there all the time, waiting for you. And the life that you might be living is the one that you are living wherever you are if you're following your bliss. You're enjoying that refreshment, that life within you all the time, unquote. And that is exactly what bliss is. There are many synonyms that kind of come close to describing bliss, but not exactly. You might call it the flow state. You might call it being in the flow. You might call it mindfulness. You can call it the present moment. You can call it empathy, emotional intelligence, resilience, and grit. All of these describe bliss, but not completely. I'm Dr. Kapil Apshankar, and I'm here to talk about bliss and how you can live your bliss every single day. Your life is your big picture. And when you live the life of your dreams, when you create the life of your dreams, you live bliss every single day. And that is your big picture. Bliss is not a destination you get to, although it is. Bliss is not a journey you take, although it is. Bliss is an experience that you live every single day with every breath, with every breathe in and every breath out. Getting to bliss is a three-step process. Step one, discovering your bliss. And to discover your bliss, you harness the power of purpose. It's a very simple question that you have to answer. Imagine 5 years have gone by and your life has unfolded exactly the way you wanted it to unfold. How does your life look like? Where are you living? What do you do? How does your body look like? How does your career look like? How do your relationships look like? How do your finances look like? And the moment you answer these questions for yourself, you've gotten in touch with, call it your intuition, call it your higher self, call it your inner ding, but you have discovered your bliss. Having discovered your bliss, step two is to start creating your bliss. And to create your bliss, you bring in the power of intention. As you wake up every single morning, you set an intention. What is it that you are going to accomplish that day that allows you to get closer to your bliss, that allows you to fill in more details into that big picture? Every single day is an opportunity to make a new start, a fresh beginning, to let go the past away and to look into the future. And you do that using the power of intention. That brings us to step three, living your bliss. And to live your bliss, you harness the power of awareness. With the power of awareness, you become aware of your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your actions, your behavior in every single moment. It allows you to examine your belief system very objectively, and therefore being able to replace beliefs that no longer serve you. It allows you to insert the pause between every stimulus and response, to take the power back, to take your power back, and to start creating responses, behaviors, thoughts, emotions, feelings that put you on this pathway to bliss. Now, although bliss and living your bliss sounds simple, it's not simplistic. We know there are three major roadblocks to creating bliss in your life. Research has shown 95% of your life is run on autopilot. Your subconscious mind is running it through your belief system. You're not even aware of it. So the thoughts, emotions, feelings, habits, behaviors, responses that you think you're in control are actually coming from your belief system. And along with those are coming the experiences that are less than blissful, that are less than perfect. What happens because of this autopilot mechanism, as Buckminster Fuller would have called it, is insanity. You end up doing the same thing over and over again and you expect different results. Not going to happen. And therefore, when you start examining the third roadblock, you realize that it starts with a thought. Every thought you think is creating a corresponding experience through your actions and behaviors. Dr. Wayne Dyer did a lot of research in the field of thought and how thoughts create our actions and behaviors. And now we know that every single thought is creating a corresponding action. An angry thought creates an angry behavior. A happy thought creates a happy behavior. A loving thought creates a loving behavior. And along with that behavior, it also shapes the experiences that you encounter in your outer world. The moment you know these three roadblocks to bliss, you're able to create a new definition of reality for yourself, a new paradigm for yourself from which you can operate. And here are the three steps. It starts with self-love. Louise Hay taught us about self-love. And self-love is not vanity or pride. It's about operating from a space of honoring yourself, of accepting yourself who you are, knowing fully well that with every single day you are getting better. It's not about going after yourself and beating yourself up with a stick. It's not about ruminating in the past with disempowering emotions of guilt and shame and fear and anger and frustration and resentment. It's about loving yourself for who you are, honoring yourself for the being that you are, knowing fully well that at this point in time, you've discovered your purpose, you've discovered your bliss, you're creating your bliss, and you're living your bliss every single day. And when you operate from this space of self-love, you realize that your inner programming, your inner belief system, your inner values are creating your outer reality. This is not wishy-washy woo-woo thinking. We know for a fact that your inner belief system and programming does create your outer reality through your responses, through your actions, through your behaviors, through the bridge of your thoughts and feelings and emotions. And when you operate from this self-love, it allows you to change your programming. It allows you to re-examine your belief system. It allows you to figure out which beliefs are no longer serving you and replacing them with more positive, empowering beliefs. It allows you to overcome all the guilt, shame, regret, fear, anger, resentment of the past and take on more positive emotions of happiness, empathy, kindness, compassion, forgiveness, inspiration, jubilation, and looking forward to a bright future. The third thing that allows you to live your bliss every single day are creating sacred rituals for yourself. You've learned about the power of habit, you take an action, you string it together, you do it every single day, it becomes a habit. You take a couple of habits, string them together, and you get routines, morning routines, bedtime routines, evening routines. Routines can get boring. That's where you create sacred rituals. You add your own spice, your own flavor, your own uniqueness into these routines, and you make these routines uniquely yours as you celebrate doing them. Every single activity, every single habit, you start to celebrate it. And that celebration flexes your bliss muscle. It increases your bliss quotient. It allows you to live bliss as you are doing that activity, as you're doing your exercise or yoga or breathing or running or jogging, or your morning cup of coffee or an evening cup of tea or whatever it is, that's how you live your bliss. There are two protocols that allow us to get to bliss in a very reliable manner. A protocol is a system that works. Protocol one is about mastering your emotions. We know emotions play a pivotal role in creating bliss, in allowing you to get to that big picture of your perfect dream life. We call it the ability to do bliss work. Bliss work is anything that makes you feel blissful, that puts you into that zone of living your bliss. Could be affirmation practice, could be meditation, could be prayer, could be chanting, could be reading the scriptures, could be exercising, jogging, yoga, pranayama, breath work, reading, writing, gratitude journaling, taking up a hobby, gardening, playing with your pet, taking the cat for a walk, taking your dog for a walk, whatever it is that creates bliss for you in the present moment is bliss work. And you take these bliss work activities and make them a part of your routines, morning routines, evening routines, bedtime routines, and create sacred rituals around these. Every time you do it, you're flexing your muscle, your bliss muscle. Every time you do it, you're building the bliss habit. Every time you do it, you're living your bliss. And guess what? You're getting better every single day. Protocol 2 for living your bliss is mastering your energy. You've learned about life management, and time management, and day management techniques. Here's a new take on it. You wake up every morning with a finite amount of energy. Your energy is finite. So you focus your energy on activities that directly contribute to the big picture, as you've discovered in your bliss. Every weekend, take some time out. Fill in the details in your big picture. How does this week look like? Then through the week, every evening, identify 3 to 5 very specific activities that you can do the following day that create bliss for you, that tie back, dovetail into your big picture, into your picture of bliss. Schedule appointments with yourself for the following day. These are sacred appointments, non-negotiable. You show up, you stick with those 3 to 5 most important activities till the job is done, and then you move on to the next appointment. Now, I know life happens. At times, something might remain undone. That's fine. Those appointments just move on to the next day, but they still remain top of your list. Finally, every evening is your opportunity to acknowledge yourself, to celebrate your wins, to celebrate your victories, to give yourself a pat on the back that you've not only lived your bliss, you've created your bliss and you're headed in the right direction, the big picture of your own life. It's about discipline. Discipline talks about taking a left-brained carrot and stick approach with yourself. Discipline is about operating from the space of self-love, knowing fully well that whatever it is that you're going after is very conscious, deliberate attempt at creating the best life ever for you, which is your big picture. It's a 3-step process. Discover your bliss, create your bliss, and live your bliss every single day. This weekend is your opportunity to define that big picture for you. And then to start filling in that big picture with colors and making it pretty and making it beautiful. Your life is amazing. And no matter where you are, you can make it the best life ever for you. I can't wait to see how you live your bliss. And the world is waiting to see your masterpiece. Go for it. Live your bliss. Thank you.